A very warm welcome to you. Many thanks for joining us on this edition of the program. As you know, we are your source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Margaret Mary Osiobo. On the lineup this week, we join Faith and her guest, Professor Shola Fajano, Vice-Chancellor Joseph Ayobabalola University, for the continuation of their discussion on the Jabu model on entrepreneurship. According to Fajano, every coursework taught in the university should be tied to entrepreneurship. Do take a listen.
Just one course. In one course, you could pick out ideas for innovation, means of livelihood that you will depend on for the rest of your life.
On this edition also, we will bring you highlights of the LCCI Insurance Group Stakeholders Meeting with the Director General, Lagos State Safety Commission, which took place recently at the Commerce House, Victoria Island, Lagos. The theme was implementation of compulsory insurance, the journey so far.
We have all been selling compulsory insurance in one form or the other. They are not new products. They are not new classes of insurance. They have always been there, except that the enforcement, the sanction is not there.
Plus, of course, all the other extras we bring you each week on this program, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the lineup. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
Okay, Prof, let me, someone has said to me before that part of the reason why we have a high level of unemployment in Nigeria could be that the Nigerian society, there's so much emphasis on education. When I say education in a classroom setup, there's no, we don't readily look at areas of technical education like you find in other climes. What's your take on that?
I believe that scenario is probably true a couple of years ago, but things are changing now. The Nigerian University, National Universities Commission insists that we must also drive skills in all the courses that we teach. And so the different curricula are being adjusted, being amended, being revised to ensure that we have skills in what we teach. It's not just or like in the past when you have students just doing rote learning, they just memorize and point in and point out, and you know that is changing now. If you look at the curriculum that we run now, over 20% is driven by entrepreneurship. You can call it general studies imposed on us by the NUC, but it's well embraced, and people are quite making a very good show, out of it. In our own university, that is a specialized university because we have entrepreneurship running through everything that we do here. The difference is very, very clear. Every graduate of Jabu must take at least one skill before he graduates. That's one thing. We also have programs, degree programs, undergraduate, postgraduate in entrepreneurship. That makes us very unique because, and of course, we are the very first university in Nigeria.
Yes, I was actually going to come to that. What informed Jabu to think in that direction, given that compared to other schools like the old days?
I think it is just divine because, like I said to you, Jabu was conceptualized about 2002, and we started teaching in 2006. At this point, the proprietors already realized that we need to go full-blown into entrepreneurship as a nation. And so we became the first university to do that in Nigeria. And even before the NUC made entrepreneurship compulsory as a general studies, we had been doing it. And of course, by the time other universities also tried to do degree programs in entrepreneurship, they had to come to us to see our curriculum in entrepreneurship, to see the workshops we have established to drive the entrepreneurship program. And it's been a wonderful story from that point.
Okay. A former minister once talked about the Jabu model. What exactly is the Jabu model on entrepreneurship?
The Jabu model of entrepreneurship is one that is skills-driven, hands-on, practicals, not just theory. Because there's no point teaching theory without practice. If you don't have the practice, then you cannot be too sure that the students will eventually run with it after they have graduated.
Okay.
Apart from the skills component, we also have entrepreneurship orientation. In other words, in every course we teach in the university, we impress it on the students that even given this course, Chemistry 101, one out of about 50 courses in the program in chemistry, just one course, in one course, you could pick out ideas for innovation, means of livelihood that you would depend on for the rest of your life. That's our model in Jabu. Every course must have ideas in entrepreneurship.
Okay, given that your Jabu was the very first university, how was it curriculum-wise, putting the curriculum together for the school?
Well, entrepreneurship is a multidisciplinary field. As a discipline, you have to rely on so many other disciplines. You rely on knowledge coming from natural sciences, knowledge coming from management, knowledge coming from social sciences, even the arts, even agriculture. So it was very convenient that in coming up with a credible program in entrepreneurship, we had to have knowledge coming from the other disciplines as well. And that has really worked very well for us in Jabu. Because you now look at our programs in agricultural sciences, you find entrepreneurship there. You look at our programs in management sciences, it's all entrepreneurship. You look at our programs, even in the arts and even in religious studies, it's all entrepreneurship. You know, it's comprehensive.
Okay, so far with this entrepreneurship, how well or how beneficial or value-driven would you say it has been for those who have passed through this university as graduates?
Yes, we have excellent reports from our alumni. They're doing very well in virtually everywhere they find themselves, in the aviation sector, in mass communication, in photography, in academia. It's been excellent. But much more importantly, you find out that those who picked up skills there are actually doing very well out there. You know, you have some of them into photography. They're high-profile investors and entrepreneurs in that particular area. But one particular kid that excites me most, or more than the rest is a graduate of chemistry who enrolled in a medical school in the UK, and after the first year, asked her parents, not to send money to her anymore. Why? Because she had established an hairdressing salon in which she's doing very well, and she's been able to pay her way in medical school. That is the kind of thing we are talking about. The ability to work with your own hands because of skills that you picked up from the university.
Okay, so as beautiful as that sounds, what is the level of support that you get from the federal government that has talked so much about creating jobs for people? And we do know that for a fact that it is entrepreneurs that create the needed jobs in society.
Exactly. Well, for now, we are enjoying patronage from governments, ministries, departments, and agencies of government. We just finished a training program for the non-militants of the Niger Delta.
Non-militants.
They were here for a couple of weeks. We trained them in building-related skills.
Wow.
You know, tiling, plumbing, mixing, landscaping, and related fields. And that is because the ministry believed that Jabu is a credible institution that can do that. Because in the past, such government agencies used to go to other countries like Israel and all of that. They spend a lot of money. We expend a lot of extra codes. At the end of the day, you're not even too sure that the candidates are bringing back what is appropriate to their own environment. So having worked with us, they are now convinced that, look, they don't need to go elsewhere anymore. What you spend to train 5 in Israel, you can use to train 100 back home here in Nigeria. That is one way in which government is supporting us. We are negotiating, we are discussing with the Bank of Industry, we have collaborations with SMEDAN, and all of these agencies are trying to ensure that, you know, our students key into all the arrangements available for our students, especially to be able to get, you know, startup funds upon graduation. So all of these are things that are happening, and we want to appreciate government for that.
Okay, speaking in general terms, Prof, we do know that oftentimes it's part of, a lot of people have said it's part of the problem of why unemployment is at an alarming rate in Nigeria, because access to credit has always been a major challenge for people. How, going forward, how can, as a nation, how can we have a policy that can take care of that challenge?
Again, governments have to prioritize our needs as a nation. It's again part of social security to ensure that the vulnerable, the less privileged, are all taken care of in terms of the access they can have to credit. Because if you don't have credit, how do you then talk about capital to take off on whatever you've learned? So I believe that with renewed or strengthened energy from government to concentrate on providing the needed credit, Nigeria will be able to move even better than we are doing at the moment.
Okay, finally, Prof, you also find, or you hear people say that, you can acquire all the skills that you need. You can have the spirit of entrepreneurship as you want. But Nigeria is a society where your business is killed even before you start it. Because one, things that other people will take for granted in other climes, you're providing your own electricity, you're providing. How do you even begin to encourage and let alone succeed and employ people? And as I said earlier on, they are the biggest employer of labor in developed society.
Yeah, well, that is one thing that we concentrate on in Jabu, in our university here. Because we believe that excuses should not be tendered for non-performance. We know that we have energy issues, we have municipal facility issues, we don't have water, we don't have electricity, we don't have good roads. But all of these challenges can actually be factored into your project. There are needs that people have, and those needs have to be met in one way or another. And if we have creative and innovative entrepreneurs, they'll be able to solve those problems for us. So we don't train our people just to acquire skills. We also train them in how to manage the challenges that are within the environment. So that somebody, for example, is doing vulcanizing, we not say, okay, because we don't have electricity.
So how do you run a business? Someone who is doing vulcanizing, how would you run? Yeah, you want to start on a small scale. How do you?
We can do energy harvesting. We can introduce the idea of solar energy, which may be expensive to install, but it's very, very convenient to maintain. And all of these things, you can do even sharing. You can team up with people within your environment to get some of these things done. For every challenge, there must always be a solution. And that is even the philosophy behind entrepreneurship in the first place. You're an entrepreneur because there is a need in society that needs to be met, to be filled. So you don't take that challenge as something for which you now fold your arms and resign to fate. No. You take it and you put your thinking cap on, look for a solution to that problem so that it won't affect your own business at the end of the day.
Alright, welcome back. Moving on now, we bring you highlights of the LCCI Insurance Group Stakeholders Meeting with the DG Lagos State Safety Commission, Honorable Dixon Hakeem, where critical issues affecting the implementation of compulsory insurance were brought to the fore. Enjoy it.
The National Insurance Commission Act of 1997 and the Insurance Act of 2003 provides the blueprint for insurance regulation in the country. Under the law, 16 insurance products were directly and indirectly made compulsory, but 5 of them are more prominent. They are Builders Liability Insurance, Motor Vehicle Third-Party Insurance, Occupiers Liability Insurance, Healthcare Professional Indemnity, and Group Life Insurance. Although these laws are there, implementation has remained a major challenge. Stakeholders in the insurance industry have been working on ways to collaborate with government at all levels for proper implementation of the compulsory insurance. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry, LCCI Insurance Group, recently organized a stakeholders meeting with Honorable Hakeem Dixon, the Director General, Lagos State Safety Commission at the Commerce House. The theme was Implementation of Compulsory Insurance, the Journey Thus Far. Welcoming participants to the meeting on behalf of the Director General, LCCI, Dr. Vincent Wani, Director of Research and Advocacy, said that LCCI will give the necessary support to stamp the project to ensure that people's assets are secured.
The FCCI will be excited, will be happy to give whatever type of backing, be it in the form of advocacy, stakeholders, coalition or stakeholder build-up, linkage between this group, insurance group and other 21 groups in the chamber to ensure that we stamp our feet on this project when all the T's and I's are crossed and dotted, and ensure that we start smiling to the bank, as our chairman have said. But to us, to you, it's about smiling to the bank. To us, it's about making sure that our assets and properties are secured, so that when they say we should come and pay for it every year, we know that it's secured and we pay for that. Having said that, I think it's not a longer speech, but just to welcome you to this meeting and wish you fruitful, happy and productive deliberation.
The Insurance Stakeholders Forum is a strategic partnership between the Lagos State Safety Commission and the LCCI towards the implementation of the compulsory insurances. Giving an update on the compulsory insurance project, the DG, Lagos State Safety Commission, Honorable Dixon, said that they are fully ready for the implementation of the compulsory insurances. All that is left is the guidelines from the regulator, NICOM.
It's just a guideline that says states, individual, companies, whoever that wants to take part on the compulsory insurance can go ahead with it. And maybe it needed the last final ruling on that. But that's what's delaying us. We are fully ready. The committee they've done their job. Everything is just hanging in the system. I hope the computer will not even crash, because I don't want us to lose all those work that every committee did towards the launching of the compulsory insurance. Well, I tell you something, never lose faith. Believe in it, buy into it, take the ownership, understand that it will happen. When? I believe very soon. Because this time we are putting more pressure on him that this thing needs to fly. Mr. Kari is a good man. He knows what he wants to do. Maybe the job requires more of what I do not understand.
Many believe that the implementation of the compulsory insurances will help Lagos State towards a vision in ensuring that the state is enlisted as one of the safest cities to live in the world. Given the discussion, stakeholders had questions for the DG and his team.
So the question is, I would like to know the structure that your agency have put in place in the last 1 year. Because when we are talking about this building, we are talking about the whole of buildings in Lagos. Have you done the demarcation? Who are the ones doing it? Does it involve the local government agencies? Do you understand? What are the structures that have been put in place? And how do we come in as insurance and brokers? Do you understand? Are you dividing the whole city for the whole brokers? Are you dividing the whole business for the insurance company? I think that's where I want to really know the structure that is put in place, because the rate is already out. If we are saying guideline, I think this is enough to be charged on the buildings. And two, the other aspect I was even thinking of is, if you are talking about safety, there are more buildings in this Lagos state that there are 6 floors, 7 floors, no lift. And I've never seen any day your agency has gone there to say this is a bad risk.
Summing up the session, the chairman, Insurance Group, LCCI, Mr. Guiga Olambinwaninu, said that the structures for the implementation started about 8 years ago.
It's a federal law that has been passed already. But each state has the prerogative on its implementation at their jurisdiction. If there are lawyers there, they'll be able to clear that out for us. So the first thing we did, actually, and this was as far back as 8 years ago when BRA was the governor of Lagos State. The first thing that was done is to ensure that Lagos State government also pass it into law. This was about 6-7 years ago. And having done that, we are almost even flagging off. We are a bit naive at some point. Before somebody pointed our attention to the fact that, hey, you can't do this except NICOM boss comes around and also sign off, because it's a federal law. And at that point, I think it was authored. Then when the new governor came in, Ambode, and thank God that Honorable Hakeem Dixon was appointed to be the DG Safety Commission. Because on his own, without us even consulting with him, on his own, he initiated it.
There is no doubt that the successful implementation and enforcement of the compulsory insurance laws will help grow the insurance industry contributions to the gross domestic product, which is currently at an abysmal level of about 0.8%.
And that does it for us on this week's edition of the program. Many thanks for being a part of it. Join us again next week, same time, same station for a fresh package. But in the meantime, feel free as always to connect with us on all our social media platforms. The March edition of our free Pidgin English newspaper is out. As always, it's packed with useful insurance, pension, and health information. Don't forget it's absolutely free, so go get your copy. Meanwhile, the 13th World Tackafall and InsurTech Conference is around the corner. Registration is still open, so all you need to do is visit our website at www.almondfinance reports for more details on discounts. My name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. Thanks for watching. See you next week.